So, thank you, James, for starting the recording. So, I am the Sergeant at Arm for today's meeting. So, good morning, good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to 72nd meeting of Toastmasters for Professionals. Use round of applause for who have joined. So, before starting the meeting, I would like to mention a few ground rules we follow. So, please put yourself on mute if you are not speaking. Please turn off your video if you are stepping out of the meeting. Don't interrupt while someone is speaking and support the speakers with your warm smile and claps. We as a Toastmaster Club also have a mission which includes providing a supportive and positive learning experience in which we are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personality. With this, I announce this meeting as open and would like to hand over the stage to our presiding officers, Toastmaster Catherine O'Connor. Over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for Rajat. Thank you so much for opening the meeting and welcoming us. Welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Toastmasters for Professionals. I am glad to be here and I hope you are also glad to be here. This is a great morning for me, but also for you, most of you, evening. Thank you for coming to the meeting. I would like to make a few announcements and just to the club officers, if you are with us, I'm reminding us we have just one more club officer training happening on the 30th, which is a Friday. Please sign up. I will also be there. That's the last day that I have. Let's sign in. And if you are planning to take on a role, please come and learn with us what is going on. The other announcement that I have to make is that at the end of today, I will be sharing our club success plan. I would like you all members to look at it, especially officers, and give me your feedback regarding how we want to grow as a club and how we want to take our club forward to the next 1 or 2 years. And it's specific to our club achievements, the DCP goals, but also you as members, what are your goals? I would like to know from you. So I will give a window of just the end of today. After the end of today, I should be able to submit the club success plan, meaning that I will have delegated or volunteered you to achieve certain goals. And if you haven't looked at it, I will try and send it to WhatsApp messages so that you can still look at it and make sure that your goals are factored in the success plan. And now it's my humble desire to take us through the meeting as your Toastmaster of the day. I would like to make a few comments about our day before we start our meeting. I would like to take note of guest club members who have joined us from other clubs. I would like to take note of DTM Sabara Musa. You are most welcome. Thank you for offering to take on a role as the Table Topics Evaluator for Dr. Mary Thomas. And I want to say, let's give a warm applause to Dr. DTM Sabara. Thank you for coming and joining us. Thank you so much. She's coming from District 102, Malaysia. I would also like to take note of General Evaluator, DTM Vamsi. Vamsi, you are most welcome. And these are Vamsi's accolades. For those of you who do not know him, Vamsi has been judged to 450 and more contests. He has delivered 100 education sessions. He completed 4 paths. He's been a sponsor to 3 clubs. He mentors 2 clubs and is a coach currently to 1 club. What a privilege to have you, Vamsi, in a meeting. Thank you for offering to be our general evaluator. I would like to also let you know, club members, that we will take a group photo just after our table topics session. So I'm going to ask you to stay on, switch your camera on after the table topics has been given, and give your best smiles for our accountability. And now we start our club meeting. A round of applause, drum roll, drum rolls, drum rolls. Can I hear you? Can I hear you? Thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining. This meeting is very unusual, but also one that you would love. Today, we celebrate the 1st of September, Labor's Day, according to the US calendar. Many people in the world celebrate Labor Day on May the 1st. I come from a country where May the 1st was Labor Day, and it is a public holiday. But the US specifically has special tenets that we would like to learn from when we hear them talk about Labor's Day. It's a special federal holiday in the US that commemorates the contributions and achievements of workers. And like I said, other regions commemorate this day on the 1st of May, but for Labor's Day in the US, it had to do with workers' needs. And I would like to ask you to take your time to read about it. It's something that makes a difference. The US, the civil action in the US is a lot more different from what the rest of the world. We notice it as workers. And so I'd like to apply this to Toastmasters. As Toastmasters, we choose to share this message to give recognition to the thankless volunteers who make Toastmasters a place of growth for us and of significance. I'd like you to know that all the members you see who volunteer roles are not being paid by anybody. They're doing it because of the love of service for another. And I would also want to specifically thank the club officers at Toastmasters for professionals. They are endearing club officers. Some of the officers are taking on more than one role. Some of the officers finish their term and they still come back to serve as club officers. And I would like us to just consider and think about them. And once in a while, if you know a club officer, send them a message and give them, a message of thanks and message of encouragement. And so like the labor unionists of the early centuries, we use these opportunities as Toastmasters for professionals to recognize that we are indebted to ourselves, our collaborators, and our leaders for the sacrifices made to see us grow. Before I go into most of the details on our meeting, I would like to now invite the people who are going to help me in this meeting to run this meeting. We do have people who have offered to serve, and I would like to invite our timer for the day. We have our timer. Please just remind me if I haven't got your name correctly.
Yes, timer is there.
Thank you so
Hi.
much. Please, yes.
Hello, Toastmasters. Adequate timing enhances every speech. The timer, me, helps speakers manage their time both by using the timer app, like this, and by showing the speaking cards. When the speaker has completed his or her minimum speaking time, I show this green card. When the speaker has little time remaining, I show this yellow card. And when the speaker doesn't have any more time, I show this red card. So please stay on the lookout for them. I begin timing when you start talking, so you may take a few seconds to gather your thoughts before beginning your speech or table topics. I look forward to this meeting and to hearing the speeches. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you so much. I would like to now invite our grammarian of the day, and that is Toastmaster Rajat. Please come and give us the word of the day and your expectations.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Catherine. Today I am playing the role of grammarian, and as my first responsibility, I'd like to introduce the word of the today's meeting, and it is iniquitous. Iniquitous. Iniquitous means very unfair or morally wrong. Example, you can take like an iniquitous system of governance. It goes very well with our themes, Labor Day themes, because sometimes government do follow an iniquitous system. So I would like to see you guys using this word in your speeches or while you speak. And apart from this, I would like to look into all the good uses of grammar as well as any wrong uses if I found. I would like to let you know when I will be called upon. Over to you, Toastmaster Kathleen.
Thank you so much, Rajat. I'm going to ask you kindly to share. Okay, you've done it. Great. If you haven't seen the spelling, there it is in the chat room. Thank you so much, Rajat. To start off, we do have our prepared speeches. And to give us prepared speeches, what a privilege to learn from great speakers, but to receive from pathways. And the two pathways are motivational strategies and strategic relationships. So to start off, our first speaker will be Toastmaster Tracer. And before Toastmaster Tracer takes to the podium, I would like to invite her evaluator, DTM Promote, to let us know his expectations. Welcome, DTM Promote.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today, Toastmaster Teresa is going to deliver her level 2 speech from the path motivational strategies, which is Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. The title of the speech is Leading with Intent, Purposeful Progress in Toastmasters. The time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I wish the speaker all the very best. Over to you.
Leading with Intent, Toastmaster Teresa. Toastmaster Teresa, Leading with Intent.
Thank you very much. This speech was originally geared towards more newer members that often join us. So some of this might be a little bit review, but hopefully it's intriguing anyway. So hold on just one second. So I'd like to take a moment and tell you about my mentor, Chris. When I first joined Toastmasters, I surveyed a bunch of different groups, and I went to over 50 different Toastmaster groups, and I was looking for the best of the best. And there was a woman named Chris in one of my groups. She was really good. And I asked her if we could have a one-on-one chat. And afterwards, what I found out was she had actually completed 37 levels in 1 year. It's like, what? That's 115 speeches in a single year. How is that even possible? She broke out her calendar and spreadsheets and showed me all of her speeches. And she had been a Toastmaster for 18 years and has done over 600 speeches. I was like, well, no wonder you're so good. But what was really beautiful about that experience is it made me think about how I could show up differently for Toastmasters. My first few months, I wasn't giving any speeches and I wasn't being very intentional. And so I started scheduling my speeches out so that I could work through my pathways faster. And what I realized, I did some research, and the average person who starts a pathway, only 30% of the people complete them. Many people get to level 3 and they start a new pathway because they don't want to do levels 4 and 5. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. What do I need to know to get through levels 4 and 5? And then I started to think about, how can I pick up the pace? My friend Chris, I learned that she goes to up to 12 different Toastmaster groups a week. When she's bored, instead of watching TV, she just finds another Toastmaster group somewhere in the world and meets some new people. And it was fascinating to see how she was getting ideas from all of these different groups and compiling them together. And there were so many things that she was bringing to enrich the group that we were in, that it made me think, like, what else? How could I be a valued contributor to our group as well? So Chris has been a huge influence on me. And that's one of the things that I would like to also encourage other people to think about is, how are you getting through your pathways? Do you have a plan? I think a lot of people don't really have a plan. And so what I did at the beginning of the year is I broke out my calendar and I scheduled a speech every other week. And then the club that I was in, they said, "Oh, you're speaking a lot." And so I joined other clubs. I'm now a member of 8 clubs so that I can speak multiple times during a week and get my skills dialed in and get them better. And then what I noticed, the other thing I noticed is, like, I joined Toastmasters to build up some skills. And I heard that in Toastmasters, there's over 300 skills that we develop here. What are the skills that I'm intentionally trying to develop? I hadn't really thought about it. And after I left a meeting, I never really did a lot of reflection on what I learned, what were the things that I took away, what worked well, what did I want to apply for the next time. And so I started to think about my journey differently, less random. Yes, I showed up, but more intentional. What did I actually want to learn? So I broke down all the different roles in a Toastmaster meeting. And I had another mentor of mine tell me, he's like, "Listen, you need to get good at evaluations. One, when you learn evaluations, that is what you start realizing what a good speech looks like. And that benefits not only the person that you're evaluating, it benefits you as well. Because then you start realizing what a good speech looks like. And you also realize where the gap is when you're evaluating somebody. What could they do better? What should they do better? And how can you help coach them along in that process?" And I thought that was great. So I spent the next 3 months doing nothing but evaluations and studying YouTube evaluations. How can I get this skill as good as I possibly can? And then I thought about, okay, well, what's the next skill that I want to build? And so often I'm in Toastmaster meetings where people are randomly assigned roles. Oh, we have a gap. Can we just put a body in that role? And I started to realize, like, you're not planning your skills with intention. You're just leaving it up to random, like, there's a gap, I'll just do that. Well, then that means you're not studying and you're not learning how to even be better at that role or awesome. So I love this idea about taking back the intention of planning with purpose, planning with intention. What are the skills that you want to develop that will serve you well outside of Toastmasters as well as inside of Toastmasters? Table topics, fantastic for interviewing skills, fantastic for striking up conversations with people and networking. There's so many skills. And I think as Toastmasters, we can be a lot more intentional about how we approach our journey. So I hope I gave a little food for thought. And I know I'm in company that has already been through a lot of these journeys, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We got some music. That was fun. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Teresa, for that enlightening speech. I feel enthused and encouraged to get into my pathway and start the planning. Those stories have enthused us. Thank you so much. I'd like to now invite our second speaker. Our second speaker will be Swati, but before she takes to the podium, I will volunteer to be her evaluator. And this is what I expect of Swati. Swati is tackling her pathway strategic relationships. And from the Project 4 series, which is public relations skills. Am I right, Swati?
Evaluation and feedback, Catherine. That's my agenda today.
It's not project 4?
No,
It's
it's
evaluation and feedback.
yeah, it's from level 1, project 4, evaluation and feedback.
Okay, thank you so much. Level 1, project 4, evaluation and feedback from strategic relationships. And this is the speech where she gives a speech, receives evaluation, takes the evaluation from that speech and repeats the speech. Strategic relationships is one of those pathways that helps us understand more about the Toastmaster and her purpose and mission. And because of this, we want to hear from her how she is using this specific level. Your purpose in the speech is not exactly about what you are doing, but your purpose is for us to hear your speech and then give you feedback. So I'm looking forward to the tenets of a good speech, a great opening, a body, and a conclusion. Your title is one of her many roles. Your speech is 5 to 7 minutes. I look forward to hearing you. One of how many roles, Toastmaster Swati, Toastmaster Swati, one of her many roles.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Catherine. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dear Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Today, as we gather here to celebrate Labour's Day, a day that many of us cherish for a long weekend and also to recognize the contributions of workers. So over the weekend, I was trying to come up with the content for the speech, something that revolves around Labour's Day theme, but nothing stuck my mind. I thought I'm so far away from this Labour's theme that I can't get something on my paper. What I thought was brainstorming would help me. So I was talking to my mom over phone and told her Tuesday evening, I have to give a speech in my Toastmasters club, something related to Labour's Day. My mom, she gave me a weird smile. It's like, why? What is this? Why are you smiling? Is this something funny for you? Like, why are you smiling? I'm just asking you some content. She's like, when you say the word labor, I think one of your childhood incident. Oh, I know what the childhood incident was. That's like when I was a tiny, playful kid, one of my guests arrived home and she was like talking to me and asked me a question. Do you have a housemaid at home? I innocently asked her, what's a housemaid? She explained me that somebody who does all the physical labor at home, like keeping your home tidy, helping in kitchens. So it's like, oh yeah, we do have. My mom is our housemaid. So she laughed at me. She went to my mom and told our conversation. My mom, she didn't scold me, nor she appreciated. She again laughed at the conversation. This guest of mine spread this matter to 5 other people. Everybody laughed at the conversation. At that age, I felt it was right. I gave right answer. My mom fit every description of what a housemaid definition was. She used to get up before everyone, in fact, even before the sunrise, like do all the cooking job, wake us up, me and my sister ready to school, drop us, again, go to grocery store, restock all the supplies, pick us back from the school, and then help us do our homeworks, uh, prepare dinner, put us back to sleep. Again, she won't sleep. She'll go back to kitchen, do the dishes, and do some prep for the next day. She was the one who used to wake up early and go to the bed late in our home. I was like, yeah, my mom is our housemaid, and she's a perfect housemaid because she did every day perfectly, flawlessly. In fact, she did the job perfectly. So as I grew up, I realized something, that housemaid or any labor on world works in exchange for a payment. But here, my mom never got paid. Even then, she was working relentlessly every day without expecting nothing. That's when I realized, oh, my mom is really not a housemaid. She's something more than that. Her labor was visible because the house was always spotless. Her meals was delicious, but her invisible labor was not visible, which is giving up on her dreams, her ambitious career, giving up on her personal time. So all this was not visible. So then I understood my mom is doing more than a labor. All that she's doing is sacrifice. She's keeping her children and her family beyond everything. So one of my mom's many roles is being labor, but she would take multiple roles in a blink of an eye. At a moment, she was a nurturer, she was a counselor, she was a friend, she was a nurturer, she was a disciplinarian, whatnot. Her role is like, I can't go on. It's endless. And all these roles she did is in, oh, I forgot grammarian's word, sorry.
Iniquitous.
Okay. She did manage all this job being iniquitous. She was always fair and morally correct. And then to this Labor's Day, I would also want to encourage everyone that go, sorry. As we celebrate the contributions of workers everywhere, let's also take a moment to recognize the labor and sacrifice of mothers. Their work definitely is not coming back with a paycheck, but it is invaluable. We can't go back and give them payment now, but all that we can give is some gratitude. They are unsung heroes. They are backbones to our homes, architects of our future, and ones who deserve the greatest respect and utmost love. Thank you, everyone. Happy Labor's Day, one and all. Back to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
I'm still amazed at your speech. It really touched me. So I really appreciate, Swati, your message, but also the theme, very relatable as we remember. And I believe every one of us has a mother or is a mother or watches a mother doing that job that is the architect of our future. I love that you use that word. So thank you for encouraging us. Thank you for shining a light on this. And for some of you, if you haven't seen the word of the day, please look it up in the chat room. It's iniquitous. Iniquitous means unfair or a system, an unfair system or an unfair way. So is it a housemaid or a housemate? So that's Swati means. Swati is trying to describe what you're saying. It is housemaid,
Yeah.
or nanny or helper at home. And that's what she was referring to. I'd like to thank our guests who have just joined us. I have seen Preeta, Subhadra, Lakshmi, Suhaila, and Brian. Mathia, thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us in this meeting. We really appreciate. Please go ahead and share your details with either myself, Dr. Mary Thomas, or Rajat, and we will include you in our guest list so that you always have a link to our meetings. We would love to see you often. Thank you for coming to join us this morning or this evening. And now I would like to invite our Table Topics Master. But before she comes on, I'd just like to share some secrets that I've learned about this day as we celebrate Labor's Day. So I would like to thank Teresa and Swati for those very, very, very enriching speeches that you've given to us. And before we go ahead, I just wanted to share something that I read about a friend that I met here in Malaysia. His name is Alvin Ng, and I'd like you to look at the book. If you can't see it clearly, it says together. It says together, me, we, finding purpose at crossroads of me and we. He's a best-selling author of Barefoot Leadership. This is a fantastic book. I would recommend any one of us to look it up, and you will find a website that says Purpose Together. So this book, he talks about how people grow together. And the few secrets I wanted to share are just a few tenets. He used this book as a project. He was given an opportunity to visit one of the world's most notable leaders at work. He was able to visit in hospital, in surgery session, Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty. If you haven't heard about him, you should hear about this gentleman who treats the world's largest number of heart patients in India. he was also able to meet Angelo Valencia, who has done commendable work with farmers and teachers at community gatherings on Mount Pulag. This is an amazing story. And I also wanted to note he has also been able to meet Lynn Kobayashi, an education enthusiast who transformed education in Pakistan and India. So I just wanted you to know that this book is an amazing book, but also the secrets are: one, take your joy where the pain is. In order for us to be together, finding purpose together as a club or as Toastmasters, is to find where we love what we do, what we're passionate about, and take it where the pain is in order for us to grow. And what are some of those things? Teresa mentioned them. Instead of watching TV, find out how can you make another person's life better. Joining Toastmasters, taking on a path, is where the pain is now the stories we begin to talk about. When Swati describes the pain of seeing labor that has not been recognized, labor that has not been paid, employment that has not been rewarded. Take your joy where pain is. And then the last one he talks about is respond to the world's pain. If we know what is hurting us as a people, if we know what is unjust, we will respond. If we know that there are people who are not being given equal opportunity, we will respond. As Toastmasters, if we see somebody is not growing, if we see somebody is not taking on their paths, and we give a speech like Teresa had done, where you're responding to somebody who hasn't taken that step, we're responding. And so I just wanted to share these secrets with us. And so now it's time for me to invite our table topics master, Dr. Mary Thomas. Can I hear the drum rolls? Dr. Mary Thomas, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. We have a very interesting session that's going on right now with a lot of information and information about pathways, information about Labor Day. And I'm going to continue that in line with the theme of the day, which is Labor Day. The theme of my table topic session would be career success. As I give these topics, kindly volunteer to speak about it. All of us are laborers in one way or another. So definitely you'll be able to take on my topics. Aside from that, before I start, I would like to say that this is actually my project, Active Listening, with distinguished Toastmaster Sabaria Musa from District 102, Malaysia, being my evaluator. For the benefit of a few of us here who are not Toastmasters, Timer, could you please tell us the timing sequence for table topics?
Yes, absolutely. In table topics, we speak for 2 minutes. So I put the timer like this. When you've spoken for 1 minute, I put this green card. When you've spoken for 1.5 minutes, I put this yellow card. And when you don't have any more time, I put this red card. Please stay on the lookout for these cards. And also please remember that I start timing when you begin talking. So you have the option to take a moment to think about your answer, and that doesn't affect your time. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Mary.
Thank you, Timer GJ. Now let's start. We gotta chill a little bit because my questions are kind of easy, but they're deep. Who would like to take my first question? Topic is career success. I mean the theme. Any volunteers before I volunteer you? Okay, quick. All right, Rajat, yes. Let me see. All right, Rajat, could you tell us or showcase your problem-solving skills? could you share with us, showcase your problem-solving skills? Toastmaster Rajat.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mary. This is quite very like a relevant topic for me because I work in production department. So there are a lot of problems happen and lot of troubleshooting needed to be done to keep the production running, keep the plant running. So in terms of approach, I generally follow we call why analysis approach. In why analysis approach, what we do, we always add why to every problem we get, and we keep on asking this question until we get the root cause of any problem. For instance, if I talk about when some of our staff, some of our executive were filling overtime of the staff, there were lot of wrong reporting. So we got very like huge criticism from uh, senior executive. So at that scenario, I asked why we are filling wrong overtime. So the answer came out because there was a communication gap between the senior executive's expectation and the junior executive who were filling the OT. So why there was a communication gap? Then the answer came out because the policies were not communicated properly. So based on that, so why the next question I asked, why the policies were not communicated properly? So the answer came out because everyone was only speaking to each other. Nobody noted down the policy or nobody put the notes and circulated in proper manner. So overall, after asking three why questions, result came out that because there was no documentation, people were feeling wrong over time. So that based on that why analysis approach, we can find the answer or we can find the root cause of any problem and suggest solution that can solve the problem in the long term. So that is my approach to the problem solving at work. Over to you, Toastmaster man.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajat. Two things that came to mind when you said whatever you've said is that communication is so important. I think that's an understatement. Communication is so important. The second thing that came to my mind was, even though we are on a different profession, root cause analysis still plays, even in the medical field. So that's interesting to note that we always need to look at the root cause of the problem. Thank you, Toastmaster Rajat, for sharing that. My next volunteer. Pramod is smiling. Can I call you? Yes. Okay, there we go. All right, Pramod. All right, question to you would be, which daily habits contribute to your success? Question, which daily habits contribute to your success? Share it with us.
Good morning and good evening, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. The single most habit that contributed to my success, my life and career success, I would say it is waking up early. I wake up at 4:30, between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning every day for the last 30 years. And this is one habit that was inculcated in me by my father. Though it was forced upon me during my childhood, I used to curse my father a lot for doing this thing. But nowadays, I'm realizing that it is helping me a lot because when I compare the time that I get for my personal stuff with those of my colleagues, I'm getting 3-4 hours more. Most of the people, they ask me the question, how do you read such number of books? How do you do this number of courses? My answer is I wake up at 5 o'clock and I get 3 good hours in the morning. What happens when you wake up in the morning? There is no disturbance. The only disturbance is your phone. If you are able to keep your phone away for 3 hours, then definitely it will happen. And eventually what happened is my wife also started waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning along with me. She was a night person. She used to sit till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock and does her reading and all. But she also adjusted to my timing. We both wake up at 5 o'clock. Sometimes we go for walking and sometimes we discuss things and all. Now, surprisingly, my elder son also started waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm really happy that whatever I learned from my father, I could pass on the same thing to my son without giving any pressure. And it gives me a lot of sense of gratitude. And also, I could start my day with a lot of passion. Let me conclude this with a quote from Beethoven. To play an insignificant notes is pardonable, but to play it without passion is unforgivable. So approach your life with a passion to do things in the right manner. Over to you, table topic master. Thank you.
Very poignant reply. Everybody take note. Wake up at 4:30 and start your day. Make that a habit. If you know about Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club, you would know that that's actually one of the ways. Sorry, one of the ways for career success or even in personal success. Thank you very much for sharing your very useful tip to all of us. Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, thank you very much. We'll go to our next speaker. Any volunteers? Nobody? Brian, may I call you? Yes, thank you. Brian, what is the biggest risk you have taken to achieve your career success? What is the biggest risk you have taken to achieve your career success? Over to you. We would love to hear your experience.
Thank you, table topic master. One of the biggest risks that I've taken has been to pivot into something new. Now, for most of us, risk is something we are taught to avoid. Recently, I've grown into having a sweet dance with risk, enjoying the music, enjoying the tete-a-tete with risk, basically finding ways of taking risks, finding ways of improving my self-confidence, and finding ways of just doing it. One of the items that stood out for me, one of the biggest risks I took, was taking a course that was not related whatsoever with what I was doing. So if what I was doing was north, what I was learning was south. And what that stood out for the new roles that I was picking up was that almost every time I went for an interview, they were asking, okay, I see you are in this line of career. However, how come you learned or you did something totally different? And then that now actually showed that there's the willingness to learn, there's the willingness to take up new items, even though they are not related whatsoever with what I am currently doing. And that has morphed into more opportunities for my career. In conclusion, I'll thus ask all of us to take a bit more risks. It can't be that bad. Long and short of it, you can do it. Either way, no pain, no gain. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you. Thank you for your interesting, is that the word interesting? I think a risk-taking journey. I totally agree with people who actually go, instead of following the North Star, like what Brian said, they go down south. I did the same thing, and that has enriched my life. And those days when I used to do hiring, I would not hire someone who seems to be a rolling stone that gathers no moss. But today, the situation is different. If I see someone who has done other things aside from what they were meant to do, or maybe their degree was meant to do, that means that person has an inquisitive, creative, a great mind. I would call that adaptability. Do you agree with me, Brian? Adaptability, to be able to adapt, right?
400%.
Yes. So such people who do different things, which may be totally unrelated, I totally agree with you, Brian. They are the people. Those are the ones who have had career success. And this is my opinion. And I'm sure many agree with this. If you read the books, they all agree with that. We need to be versatile. We need to be creative, innovative, open up our horizons. I totally believe in that. Incidentally, I'm an accountant who did law, and now I'm a doctor. So I know, I've been through the works. Yeah, I'm an accountant actually. I did law after that, and then I do medicine. I'm a doctor now, practicing in a government hospital. Yeah, so you see, that whole broad spectrum changes my perception in healthcare. Totally changes. Anyone who knows me will know I'm a very different doctor. Okay, it's not my time now. Back to you, the speakers, please come back. Now, shall I call our general evaluator? He looks like he's got something to say. May I, distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi?
Sure.
Okay, question to you. Share a book that contributed to your career success. Share a book that contributed to your career success. Distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi.
Thank you so much for such a wonderful topic. Share a book that contributed my career success. I'm not sure exactly if there is a book like that, because every book of mine contributed in my success. Especially, I want to say thanks to Chetan Bhagat. Okay, the first book I read is one of his books. He's kind of having a mixed language. Okay, sometimes he used the words in the native along with the English. So because of that, it created an interest for me to read the books in the first place. I'm not a bookworm at all. Okay, books and me are North Pole and South Pole. And at this point of time, when I read his book, I felt like comforting, because although the native language is not my language, but I can understand those words. So it felt keep on moving the book. What is there? What is the next story? What is going to happen? From there, I got a habit of reading books. And after that, I don't even recollect how many books I have read so far. So kudos and all thanks to him. Because of that, I got this habit. And one thing I think that could create an impact is The Power of Subconscious Mind. So that is the book that always created a positive hope for me. And there is one more book about positive thinking. Now, what I do is, when I prepare for any competitive exams or something, it's not the materials that I read first, but it is these books that I go through first, because I want to take away all the negative thoughts which maybe occur. What will happen in the exam? How would I go? Will I perform well? How would the interview may go? All these kind of things. No, you are not coming into my place. I read just one or two chapters of this book. So from that day, I inculcated a habit of doing at least reading one chapter in any book, because I have a lot of books randomly. So I chose one of the chapters, I complete them, and I was like, okay, let's complete one chapter per day in any of the books. It's not like a particularly I want to go with a certain kind of a thing. Whatever it is a possibility, I go with that. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi. I like that idea, and I totally agree with that as well. And I'm sure many of us don't have time to read. That's one good way of getting something out of a book. Read one chapter from any book. That really is a brilliant idea. You guys take a note of that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And books are definitely something that we need as part of, it's one of our tools towards any form of success, personal, career, family, relationships, health even. We need the help of books. Important tool. All right, we have time for two more. May I call? Yes, Sunita. Yes. Welcome back. I think I've seen you before. Nice to see you again. All
Thank you.
right. Sunita, your topic will be, okay. How do you manage an ego-tripping boss? How do you manage an ego-tripping boss?
Thank you, Toastmaster Mary. I think this is a very common phenomena in almost every day of our life who work mostly in corporate life. I think there are people who will not really bother what you want, but they only want to tell you what they want and what they need. And if they are in the position of power, like your boss, they will make sure that you do that what they want and what they need to do it. Now, there's a trick to, handle these kind of people. Uh, Fortunately or unfortunately, I have been part of such, I've been around difficult people. So, who wouldn't listen to others' opinion or who wouldn't listen to others' perception. And that's where it hurts us as well. Like, why are they not listening to my opinion, even if that is right? Because that hurts if they are not understanding. So, the only thing is, try to put your point in a way that interests them, but also puts your point first. So if you want something to be done, let's say in a particular way or in a particular process, make sure that you first identify the benefits that is coming out of that process. You tell the benefits to the person, and then he will probably understand that okay, that process is why necessary because it is benefiting that entire process. So, for example, once we wanted to have a meeting, we did not wanted to sit late in office, and that was the culture in office, and we wanted to shift to the regular timings. But he was of the view that during the day I have a lot of personal things to do, and that is why I can only have the meeting during the late hours of office.
Thank you, Sunita. I think she dropped off. I think she dropped. Yeah. All right. I think she's got a point there where negotiating skills would be the order of the day whenever we are dealing with bosses who most of the time are narcissistic, if I may say that. So that was a good point to note, having negotiating skills. All right, the last topic. Who is going to go for this one? Catherine is smiling. Do you want to? Catherine?
I think I have a lot of talking to do.
Okay. Lakshmi, would you like to try? Or Suhaila? Suhaila, may I have you? You okay? No. Nobody? No. We're going to have someone. Sabaria? Satish? What is this? Auction?
Mary, yeah, why
Did you
not?
call everybody's name? Okay, I'm sorry, Sabaria?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, okay, has a elevator. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How do you manage a work-life balance? Such an important thing for each of us. How do you manage work-life balance, Sabaria?
Work-life balance. A woman. Don't we need to deal with that? We are. Quite like earlier on, our speaker spoke about women being unpaid labor, housemaid, a nanny, a cook, a housekeeper, a husband's keeper. Yes, we need to. How do I manage it? Well, I have a career in terms of public speaking. I also do training of others. And I am also a nanny, a grandmother. So how I do that? Well, the best part is, as a speaker, believe me, I do my speech not on a table, writing down 100%. No, I did it when I'm driving and I'm in the shower. There I go, practicing my speech, thinking of my speech while doing all these things. I can't have a specific time for certain things. So what I do is sometimes we are best multitasker, aren't we? Women. So I do that when I'm multitasking, driving. I will plan the day. What do I do the next day? What is my schedule for tomorrow? And I reflect back, what did I do yesterday in order for me to be able to do the things today and tomorrow? So I believe that is what life balance is. And I also do communicate because love is another thing. Life and love. My husband's, how do I take time for my husband? Because sometimes I'm here on Zoom and sometimes I go for a meeting. So what I did is when I go home from a meeting, physical meeting, I'll talk to him about what I did at the meeting and what I did good, and if I win the best table topic or the best speaker. And I share with him and ask him, what do you do while waiting for me? And he was telling me his story. So that's how I relate to love life and also to relationships. So I believe that's how I manage work-life balance. Thank you very much. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sabaria, for sharing with us your way of managing your work and life balance. Always we've heard this word multitasking, and we are all multitaskers. If we don't multitask, I think it's impossible to get all our things done. Hundreds of things on our plate. So multitasking is the order of the day. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Sabaria. I'm so thankful that all of you came forward and shared your views about how you made your life a part of success in different ways. We're all unique individuals, so we have our unique methods of doing it, and we have our tools to help us. Thank you very much. Thank you once again, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
A round of applause. Wow, thank you so much, Dr. Mary. You just brought back life into us. And you led to so many thoughts and conversations in the chat room. I couldn't help myself but keep laughing. I felt like putting Sabaria on the spot to ask for more information. Maybe she should write a book about this. It was just invigorating. And we have learned lessons about the unique task ways that we are not recognizing our people and even ourselves. In fact, we should create some employment, we should create some employment advocacy for the home and what happens in the home, because to put together a family is work. And as we go out and come back, some of us look like we have 6 or 9 jobs, so it's a lot of work and it feels sometimes almost unfair. But there was a lot of learning. I hope you and I have learned so many lessons from this table topic session. I felt like I was writing down non-stop, wake up early, pivot into something new. Just, like there's just so many lessons from each speaker. So thank you, Dr. Mary Thomas, for taking us through this time of table topics. I now would like to request our Sergeant at Arms to go ahead and take us through the photograph, and let us put our smiles and cameras on so that we can be seen.
Yes, of course. Let's see all the smiles coming. Yes. TTM Vamsi, can we see your smile too, if it's possible? Yes, that's
Hello.
great. Great. Smile. Just 2 days. Great. Great. Over to you, Toastmaster Caption.
Thank you so much. Highlights, nice to see your face. Nice to see your beautiful face. And thank you for coming to join us this meeting. We haven't seen Satish. And now I would like to invite our evaluators. To start with, I will invite the evaluator, DTM Promote, to take us through his evaluation of Toastmaster Teresa's speech. Welcome, Promote.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, Toastmasters and fellow guests. Today, I'm going to evaluate the powerful speech delivered by Speaker Teresa. She spoke like a true mentor. Though the speech was on mentoring, but she spoke like a true mentor, and she had explained the 4 important things in Toastmasters, that is passion, skill, strategy, and outcome. It was so good to see that how she started. She just narrated her journey, and the narration was full of passion. And from the fact that she had taken membership in 8 clubs itself shows that how passionate is she in Toastmasters, or she wants to improve her communication skills. She had taken that passionately. We very often come across speeches with live examples of our own examples, and we are trying to motivate people by telling all other things. So that's all about the content of the speech. It was well structured speech. It had absolutely, there are 4 parts, and the final takeaway is you learned so many skills from here. She mentioned about 300 skills that she learned in Toastmasters. Then she said, no, I want to pick up what are the skills I wanted to learn. And finally, she concluded her speech by saying that how the same can be implemented outside Toastmasters, which is, I think, is the most relevant thing she spoke about mentoring today. Um, and I'm coming to the delivery part of the speech. The first thing I loved about the speech is absolutely the clarity. He was crystal clear on what she was speaking. She knows the subject. She spoke like a boss with authority and authenticity. Delivered it beautifully, making good eye contacts. Just smiling. I really loved the way. I was so jealous of her when I saw her pauses and the pace in which she progressed the speech. The pauses was so powerful. I remember a word by a Carnatic musician. Once he said, even when during the songs, there are pauses that makes the songs more beautiful. Look at the rain. It is the gap between the rain that makes the raindrops. Similar way, you also had good pauses, and it was so natural when you questioned. I just looked at your eye movements. So when you said, is it right? Your eyebrows were going up, and you were truly asking me questions, recollecting the same thing in your mind. Very minute details, everything so reflected perfectly on your face when you delivered the speeches. So that's how we create credibility and connection with the audience. When you are delivering a speech, not mechanically from inside, and that is true on a subject which is very relatable to you, it really connects with the audience. The audience connection was instant, and it was really good. Vocal variety, I don't have to say. So far, I have explained how beautifully you have delivered this speech. I didn't find any suggestions for improvement, though I was planning to do it in the CRC approach. The only thing is that when you are quoting statistics, maybe you can quote the source as well. And you said only 40% of the people or 30%. Please quote the source, that it increases more credibility and authenticity to your speech. That's all. Congratulations. I love to hear more such speeches from your side. Back to you, Catherine.
A round of applause to our evaluator, DTM Promote. Thank you so much. I hope, Teresa, you had a moment to respond to his evaluation. I would also like to give a moment to all of us Toastmasters to give Teresa feedback in the chat room about how you felt about her speech, just to boost what DTM Promote has already delivered. Please do that in the chat room. And now I'm going to also go ahead and give my evaluation of Swati's speech. I would like to apologize, Swati, that I took upon this very quickly. So I just have to give what I saw and what I felt. Congratulations on achieving your first level of this project in strategic relationships. What did I see from you, Swati? You were comfortable. You smiled. You welcomed us in. Your speech was relatable to the theme of the day. You broke the ice by giving us humorous stories of your personal experience. as a child, watching your mother and watching a maid, and then understanding the role that your mother took to raise you as children. You also took us through this story and giving us bits of what we understood that was ubiquitous in your mother's employment that was unpaid for, rising before sunrise, sleeping last after everybody, preparation for school, homework. You're wondering, this mom was the maid. Her labor was visible. I heard that from you. Meals were delicious, giving up on her dreams. And then you described more than labor. We understood your speech as you described your mother as a nurse, friend, nanny, teacher, and then later on you said architect of our future. Your speech was commendable to me. I felt enthused by how you delivered a speech for this kind of theme. Your speech was comfortable, you smiled, you had ease, and there was evidence that you were totally immersed in what you were giving. What would I improve upon as a Toastmaster? First of all, I would love to commend that your speech, in my view, was shorter than the usual 5 to 7 minutes. It could have been a little longer. Your speech was your delivery was fast. You could have slowed down a little bit more to give us time to reflect on what you were saying, but also to help you remember the next step of what you were going to say. I would have also used some props by either using a photograph of the past so that we are right there with you, with your mom, and understanding how this ubiquitous, kind of labor or system needs some attention. I would also have spent some more time giving sharper reflections on how we could learn lessons from your story. We could improve this situation in homes and families, or you could advocate for it better as a Toastmaster or in your power as a worker. Overall, Swathi, I felt that your speech was invigorating. It should be taken up to a bigger project. Now that you're going to give it again, I really look forward to hearing what you will add into this speech. Congratulations. Thank you very much. And now I would like to remind us that we are going into our evaluation of our speech. But before we do that, allow me to give you my last lessons from the book, Together, Finding Purpose Together. And this was a lesson from Alvin Ung from the same book. On page 52, he describes that you cannot connect deeply with colleagues, clients, and business partners if your core values are not aligned with theirs. He allowed us to understand that we cannot buy core values. They cannot be borrowed or purchased. They cannot even just be hung on a wall and work. For us as Toastmasters, if we take the core values of Toastmasters, believe them, invest in them, we find a connection. I believe very strongly that this meeting has provided us an opportunity to express our core values. I can sense from every speaker that our core values are deep. We are connected at family level. We are connected at improving one another. We are also connected at helping each other grow. And with this, Toastmasters and guests, I want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to take the meeting. I would now like to invite our timer to tell us how we performed at this meeting. Welcome, Guillermo.
Thank you, Catherine. For today's meeting, for the speeches, Toastmaster Teresa spoke for exactly 7 minutes. I've never seen a speech last for exactly 7 minutes, so you obviously practiced it a lot. So Toastmaster Swathi spoke for 4 minutes and 45 seconds. In our table topics, Toastmaster Rajat spoke for 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Toastmaster Brian, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Distinguished Toastmaster Vamsi, 2 minutes. Sunita, 2 minutes. Distinguished Toastmaster Sabaria, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. And for our evaluations, Distinguished Toastmaster Pramod, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and Toastmaster Catherine, 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Guillermo, for taking us through the timers report. I would like to invite Toastmaster Rajat Gupta, our grammarian, to give his report of how we performed today.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Catherine. So I did not find any wrong uses as such during our meeting, but I did find some of good uses that I would like to mention. Toastmaster Swati mentioned like at a blink of an eye, good phrase to like without much thinking, just do instinctively. Toastmaster Pramod speech I find inculcate to basically instill some habit or instill some quality. Toastmaster Brian, Toastmaster Teresa pointed out to this in chat about the sweet dance of risk. That is one of the good phrases, like a catchy phrase I found. Then Toastmasters Mary's session, I found ego tripping, a new word. I've never heard this one, ego tripping. And then narcissistic. So narcissistic is someone like who only thinks about his benefit or his thing. So this kind of words. Then Toastmaster Catherine speech, I found broke the ice, invigorating. So these are some of the words, good users I found. And in terms of word of the day, Toastmaster Catherine did a lot of hard work. Like he used 2 times and wonderfully incorporated these words in his speech. And Toastmaster Swati used inquitus 1 time. So this was my report, and I also post this on chat box. Over to you, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajat. It is my pleasure to invite DTM Sabara Musa to give her evaluation of our table topics master, Dr. Mary Thomas.
Thank you very much, Toastmasters of the Day, Catherine. Well, here I am, the evaluator for Table Topic Master on her active listening project. But as the evaluator, I would like to share my humble evaluation without any in-quiz date. Right. Congratulations, Mary, on completing your project on active listening or attentive listening. You did tremendously well in demonstrating your skills of active listening. I love how you respond to each speakers by repeating what they said, the points or the statement that they said, and how you also share your own life experience and also about what they speak on. So each speakers, and you relate it to what you go through in your life, like your career as an accountant, then doctor, there's something else in between. Oh my God, did I forget? Okay, and then you went on to say thank you to them and you congratulate each of them and mention their name. That's very important. And that's what active listening is all about. Now, I noticed that you also shared your experience and you also related, like in a few statements. You relate the topic and you relate it to your life and your career as well, which is very good. Now, I would like to also help you to improve a suggestion for improvement on how to become a greater table topic masters. When we respond to our speaker, you will mention what they said. You will repeat what they say, and you did that, okay? The only thing is when you relate to yourself, you may want to only say one sentence, one line or 2 sentences about your life relating to that topic. You may not want to like take 2 minutes of it. Stick it to 1 minute so that you will control the time of that table topic session. It is just as important because it will affect the whole time for the meeting. Otherwise, that's the only challenge that I have for you is to time. Next time when you are a table topic, take the challenge to be a table topic masters again. You check on your time. I mean, time yourself. When the speakers finish talking, you want to respond to them, take your time and make sure that you only do it in a minute. Okay, so I'll challenge you to that. Okay, instead of like elaborating more on it. Thank you very much. I think that's about all. And with that, I would like to hand over to our Toastmasters of the day, Catherine. All yours. Thank you. Well done, Mary.
A big round of applause. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Baraya. It is my pleasure now to invite our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Bamsi, to come and give us his review of our meeting. Will you please give a warm welcome?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to your meeting. And I feel so positive in these iniquitous times with a lot of positivity spreading from everyone. All right, let me go with my general evaluation. And there can be ups and downs, but it is what it is. Kudos to you. Let me segregate into the meeting into two parts. One is before the meeting, during the meeting. The before the meeting things, it was really fabulous. I received the agenda way before. I know who are coming, what is the timing lines. Everything is planned and given to me. Thank you so much for that. And kudos to Rajat following up multiple times and checking all the things. Thanks to you, because of you, we made this meeting like a smooth without any hustle. Coming to Sergeant at Arm role, Rajat did a fabulous job by starting the meeting with the Toastmaster mission, giving all the ground rules, explaining us what to do and how we can make this meeting more interesting in the starting itself. Coming to the improvement, we started a little bit of 5 minutes of late. I think it would be avoided because whoever are needed for the first speaker at least were in the room. So it is ample of time before the other role players, for example, speaker 2 and evaluator 2 are late, let us say. But before that, we already have a lot of other role players, the timer, grammarian, everyone is already in the room. So we could have started it on the time. That's the only misstep little bit there. Second thing, Rajat, I would like to insist is showcase a little bit of more energy when you are starting. Like, for example, good morning, good evening, my fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Wherever you are in this world, welcome to our Toastmasters meeting. So something like a fabulous, because you don't know who is a guest, who can be something. Something can be say DTM Vamsi, I can be a guest. Because I saw promote the DTM, I don't know what it is, I will also keep DTM. Who knows? So you can't predict who is in your meeting all of a sudden seeing the meeting link from the net. So have this wonderful kind of a start and positive vibration. Now push it to the presiding officer. Now the presiding officer won't have a chance. He or she has to carry that positive energy and vibe. So you are making them energized with your start. That's the only my recommendation. Later in the meeting, you are completely energized. You are like running like anything. Yeah, this, that, and what, whenever you got the chance to speak. So showcase the same thing at the starting. Coming to presiding officer, Toastmaster Catherine, fabulous job. You made all the announcements that you want to state. You welcome the guest. You started with a high positive note. Kudos to you. Fabulous job over there. Coming to Toastmaster of the day role. And again, taking dual roles one after other is not an easy task. One recommendation I would say at this point, if you are going Toastmaster of the day, try to give the presiding officer to some other person. So if any guest is coming, they see the difference of the roles. Because Rajat at this point, at later he may take some other role. It is fine because we can see some other people are coming and taking the roles in between. But as a presiding officer, Toastmaster of the day, we can see there is a difference. Yes, there is another person came, there is one more person, one more activity is happening. So like that, never take a consecutive roles if possible. In dire situations, obviously we have to take sometimes, but if possible, avoid that. Good job with the Toastmaster of the day, a good start. Narration is fabulous. Only one recommendation in the entire thing. First, I felt like I may need more content from Toastmaster of the day. What can I hear? But later you have lots and lots of content for us. Fabulous job there. One recommendation I would say is call the table topics evaluator before the grammarian. What if she uses the word of the day? Now who will praise her? She did lot of effort to use the word of the day and no one recognizes it. So try to call the grammarian at the complete last before general evaluator. So if anyone listens or uses to do any kind of new words, they will get the proper appreciation for that. That's the only recommendation. And I don't noticed R counter in today's meeting, maybe grammarian, you can take up a little bit of R counter if possible and try to have that. That can be a mix of things, but it's absolutely fine. Coming to my speakers, already you got wonderful evaluation, so I don't want to stress too much on that. One thing I really liked in both the speakers in common is both are very expressive. I really loved it. They enjoyed the stage time. Now it's a rare scenario you can see nowadays. Only few people enjoy their stage time. Speech, what you're speaking, keep all those things aside. The thing is, you enjoyed those 7 minutes. That I really loved. Kudos to both the speakers, especially speaker one. Your voice modulations are fab. I really loved it. How you started to the end with the different voice modulations. That is really good. One thing I would say is try to create more impact. For example, you started with kind of a friendly conversation rather than you tell something, a fascinating line, or maybe ask a question, or maybe a quote. So something like that, though, so the new audience will feel like, okay, this is what we are going to think of, we can anticipate from this speech. Something like that, that creates more impact because you have lots and lots of things in your speech we can take today. So creating the impact in the starting makes it more effective. That is the only thing. And both the speakers try to utilize a bit more space, go a little bit back, so we can see the hands. Because you have a lot of points, at least when you are in a sitting posture, you can say point number 1, point number 2, point number 3, or something like that. Or you can use the cam as well, because it's a visual, right? So suddenly if you are making, do you know it? Oh my God. So something like that. When you are having those kind of things or expressions you want to say, you can at least move to and fro. If you are using Bluetooth, obviously, you can't see that vocal modulation that much of an impact, because it will be on the same time. At that point of time, this camera movement also can change because you are away from camera and coming towards. So it automatically creates that vocal change by default. So that is the only thing I would say. Then coming to, let me scroll. My evaluators, fabulous job. Both of you did a good job. One thing I would say is give 2 recommendations in any time, no matter how beautiful the speaker is. First recommendation, always on the content part. And the second can be content part or the delivery. So when you make these kind of things, the speaker understand exactly where to improve with the content. Because when content is improved, obviously the other factors like body language, vocal variety, all these comes together because they are tied up with the content. So ensure the first thing which we recommend would be always the content part. That is my recommendation. You did a fabulous job, no doubt in that. Table topics, wonderful table topics master and wonderful table topics evaluator. Both did a fabulous job. I am like, okay, what is the next topic? What could be the next? Why it is like that? Okay, what kind of question is this? Lots and lots of interesting things you kept on the plate. And the table topics evaluator as well gave the right on the back. Then coming to word master grammarian, Rajat, good job over there. Completely a new word for me also to learn today. Good that one thing I would say is try to have some clubs have word of the day and idiom of the day, which means 2 words. So one, you can keep something that can be new for members, one that can be easy. For example, vibrancy, which means a variety, most variety. We don't have use most variety kind of a things, right? So there are some words which we can use. For example, very scared or like most scared. Is there most scared? No. The word for that is petrified. So when you bring these kind of words, the audience feel like it is something regular, but it's like very most kind of expression they want to deliver during their speaking time. They can add this word over there. So it becomes an advantage that you can see a lot of people adding new words today. So like that, have word of the day and idiom of the day. One can be new, one can be easy. If, for example, if a lot of guests are there, on this spot also you can change the word one of the idiom of the day, and you can mention it as excellent. It is very simple, but you can see people using it. So that's how you can make the audience using the word all of a sudden, which came like our impromptu round. Okay. So that with the time, people will start getting the habit of using these words. Coming to timer, Toastmaster Gamalo, excellent job over there. You show the timer cards in the starting itself, so people will know how the timer cards are displayed. You raise your hand, so we can clearly know, yes, no matter mobile, laptop, whatever device they are using, the timer cards are visible. You give very fabulous tips whenever you called on the stage regarding when to speak, how to speak, or what we should watch out. Good job over there. one recommendation I would say is have a short script of giving exact timelines. For example, I made a script long time back, like today we have target speakers, prepared speakers. Let us say both are 5 to 7 minutes. So the timing will be 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will show green card. At 6 minutes, I will show yellow card. And 7 minutes, I will show red card. The speaker gets 30 seconds grace period on either side to complete their speech. For the evaluation round, which is for 2 to 3 minutes, I will show green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2.5 minutes, red card at 3 minutes. The evaluators also get grace period of 30 seconds on either side. For the table topic segment, which is also known as the impromptu round, you will get to 1 to 2 minutes. I will show green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1.5 minutes, and 2 card at red card. My dear audience, you get only 30 seconds grace period after red card. You have to speak for a minimum 1 minute. You don't have a choice. Like that, you can make a script with a small and faster one, so audience know. Anyway, speakers and evaluators know about this. Table topics, people know that, okay, I have to speak for minimum 1 minute, then green card will be shown. And after red card, I don't have to panic. I still have 30 seconds more to close my whatever I'm speaking. So like that, it will give more clarity on that. And that's it. I'm done for the day. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Catherine.
Thank you so much, DTM Vamsi. Your evaluation has been so important for us to grow as a club and to grow as club officers and members. Thank you. We really appreciate, and we will look forward to you coming for a meeting to see these things that you have recommended for us to do, especially today. So thank you once again. Your coming to our meeting has made a whole difference. Thank you so much. A round of applause once again to our DTM guest evaluator, Vamsi. Thank you for coming. I would now like to close our meeting officially and say thank you to all of you role takers, speakers, but especially our club officers for making things happen. And to you, our guests, role takers, thank you for coming. Thank you for participating and making Toastmasters for Professionals be what it is today. Thank you so much. You're welcome, everybody, to have some fun and just enjoy one another. Thank you. The meeting is closed.